Alright, now as you can see, I have completed the whole bracelet in the way that I have instructed you. Now what we're going to do, since we've gone through this last loop, and we have our long ends here, in order to make it adjustable, what we're going to do is take the same side that we just ended with and pass it through, as you can see right here. We're going to pass this through the top links, just like we did to start it out. We're going to pass it through the top links. So I'm passing it through from the side that it's coming out on the bottom, from that side over to the other side. And we're going to pull that through until you just have a nice curve here in the bracelet. And we're going to take the other side now and pass that through that way. So this is going to be a little bit tight because we actually have 3 cords passing through just one length of chain. So you're going to pass through one, give it a little tug to make it easier, pass through the second one, and what I find easiest, especially when I'm working with the jewelry tube, is I'll push the tubing through and then slide the link over it just a little bit. And so that usually works out pretty well for me. My camera's falling here. There we go. Alright, so then once you have it through all 3, oh, we just fell again. That's okay. Once you have it through all 3, what you're going to do is pull the sides so that they are about even. You see how my link or my loop here is about even? Then you're going to slide it over your wrist, and you want to have it at a comfortable spot for you so that you can slide it over your wrist or slide it onto your wrist over your hand. So just kind of find that spot where it's most comfortable. The jewelry tube is kind of stretchy, so you can use that, or you can make that a little bit smaller if you're using the jewelry tube. If you're using the leather, you want to have it so it just barely slides over your hand. And so very carefully, you want to make sure that the sides are even, and still keeping it in that same measurement, you want to slide it off. So then what we're going to do is tie an overhand knot very close to this link right here. So I'm going to tie my overhand knot, so I'm going to make my loop and pull the tail end through the loop and then push the knot up close to the link. So as you can see, I have my knot up close to the link. Now I'm going to make sure that I still have my loop here about the same size on both sides, and I'm going to tie another overhand knot on that side in that same spot. So still making sure I have it about the same size. I'm just tying that overhand knot and push it close to the link. So you can see I have my overhand knots right close to the link. So what I'm going to do is string my bead or beads onto the one side of the leather cord. So I'm going to have 3 beads on one side and 3 on the other. Then I'm going to tie another overhand knot at the end of that just to kind of secure the beads in place. And make sure that your knots are tight, especially if you're working with the leather. Now you need to make sure that the hole in the bead is not too large that it's going to slip over the leather. If it does, tie another knot. So I'm going to do that here just to show you. You want to tie another knot so that it won't slip off. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to add the beads and tie your first overhand knot. And push it down. And your second overhand knot. And push it down. So we can check to make sure it's a good fit before we cut anything. You want it to be able to easily slide over your hand and onto your wrist, and then you can pull the ends, and that's what cinches it down to be the right size for your wrist. So if it's the right size, and we are good to go, we can trim the tail ends off. You want to leave a little bit, just so that if the knot ever happens to slip, we have enough that it'll kind of grab onto. And if it ever happens to come undone, if we don't put glue on it, you have a little bit to tie your ends again with. So we have our beaded ends, and when you pull on the beads, it cinches the bracelet to make it smaller. So it's a very easy bracelet, and even easier to close. So you can just slide it on. Just grab one of the beads with your fingers and the other with your fingers in the other hand, and just pull. And as you can see, it cinches to fit, and you have an awesome chain wave bracelet. Thanks for watching.